Hey, what is up guys? It is Needle. Welcome back to my channel for a new video today. Today's video we're going to be talking about techniques that pros are using in Fortnite that you need to start using also. If you do enjoy this video at any point and want to see more Fortnite videos like this where I talk about how you can improve and get better, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. Now, this first strategy is something that doesn't really have a proper name yet, but for the sake of the video, we can just call it pre-edited wall take because that's all it really is. This is something I first saw from FaZe Mongrel a few months back, but FaZe Martaz was also using this in his recent highlight video. Now, this is great for killing people who are already boxed up and playing really passive. This will easily catch them off guard and leaves them very vulnerable in their box. The setup for this play is pretty self-explanatory. The only thing you're really going to need is actually the heavy sniper itself. Then obviously you're going to need to do these little arched pre-edited walls that you replace the walls with. I think the more interesting part of this strategy and how you guys could use it is just how good it is late game when you know everyone is going to be turtled up in a box. Everyone in the video that Martaz posted, they were completely boxed up trying to play for late game. In the second clip though, the timing was absolutely perfect. If you look at it, he waited for his enemy to start getting rocketed in the back, knowing that his opponent was going to be turned around and looking at the rocket coming. He comes up and then goes for the snipe and wall replaces. This makes for a perfect pinch as the guy is completely scrambled looking the wrong direction. This obviously leaves for an easy kill for Martaz, showing why this pre-edited wall take can be so lethal. The next technique we're going to be talking about is the rocket to harpoon combo. This is another strategy that is really simple but does have the potential for a ton of kills. The setup for this though is a little bit harder considering you do need to find a rocket first to start with, but then obviously finding a harpoon from that shouldn't be too hard. So once you do have your rocket and your harpoon in your loadout, the execution is very easy. Just find an opponent who is boxed up in wood that is in harpoon range, send the rocket at their wall, and then just harpoon it right before they can react and turbo build a wall back. This obviously is just going to put a rocket right in their box every time. So watch this clip of Colazzo here who used this late game. Basically all he was doing was just targeting people who were boxed up in wood, and just look how many kills he got from that. There is almost always going to be a time in a game where you're just missing the shield, materials, or maybe just even the ammo you need to take a fight. You will see this a lot in almost every single competitive match. Someone eventually just starts running low on something they need. Maybe they're missing materials, so they decide to go try to get a quote-unquote refresh kill to get their materials up and take them from their opponent, obviously. One better alternative to this though is just waiting for someone around you to die and then harpooning all the loot into your box. This is a way safer way to go about it than fighting someone and trying to get all of their mats. Sometimes this is good just to even pull in better weapons like a gold scar or gold rocket with your harpoon. Watch AV in this clip here. He waits for this guy to get killed out of the air and then he decides to go for all the loot he can. Even though he is already good on mats and shield, having these extra materials and loot in his box means one, he can use these builds for extra protection on his next rotate, and two, it is also just less loot everyone else in the lobby has now that it's in his box. So it's something to think about next time you have an open slot. Consider taking a harpoon or fishing rod to pull in better loot for yourself. The next strategy we're going to be talking about is all about learning to wait for the perfect opportunity to start the fight. In general, you probably want to start out your fights with solid AR tags where you can crack their shield at least. You never want to just start box fighting somebody randomly that you know has max health. It is way smarter to get them weak and then proceed to apply pressure now that you know they've already lost their shield. In this clip here, we have Mr. Savage, who's coaching another YouTuber, Drolby, in the FNCS solo qualifiers. Savage is coaching him all throughout the tournament, and in this clip here, Savage tells Drolby that he has a beam on a guy that he is following. Drolby has a good shot lined up, but Savage informs him to not shoot at that exact moment because there is a field ahead, and Savage realizes that he's going to be running in the open. It's going to be a way better shot where he can do way more damage. It's such a simple call, but look how effective it actually does end up being when Drolby waits a little bit more to take these shots in the open.
Wait a little bit. Just wait. Don't shoot here. It's gonna be scuffed. Just wait until he goes up to the red house.
If I double ding this guy, you need to subscribe to my channel.
Maybe wait a little bit longer. There's an open field after he goes out that house.
Okay.
Or you can just go close and shoot him. Because he can't build walls there.
Now?
Nice. Good, bro.
Now, we all know at this point that taking fights for 2+ minutes where you drain all your mats and ammo and all your shield is just not going to be worth it at this point in Fortnite. So understand that sometimes waiting for that perfect shot to start the fight could be the difference between the fight taking 10 seconds where you deal more damage or 2 minutes where you end up taking a long drawn-out build or box fight. This next strategy is how you can rocket the corner of somebody's box that they are turtled up in while still allowing yourself to fall through the box, getting shotgun shots off. This is going to be the perfect setup to catch your opponent off guard, and you can get in their box box every time before they can even react and pull out their weapon. Now, the key to doing this little maneuver with the rocket here is making sure you swap to your shotgun right after you shoot your rocket. They're going to be really caught off guard, so having your gun out first is going to be deciding whether you win this 50-50 or not in their box. Now, for the actual setup of how to do this, because it can be tricky and I've seen it different ways it can be set up, so I'm just going to explain the way I have learned it. First, you're going to want to actually get on someone that's boxed directly underneath you. You're going to want to make sure the floor cone on top of the box, this allows you to actually have like a little place to stand on and not take any fall damage. What you want to do is stand on one of the four corners of the cone. Make sure you're as far back as you can get, making sure you don't take any damage when you shoot your rocket, and then build two walls in front of you. These are just going to serve as walls on top of the box that you can shoot your rocket at. Now that you're crouching on the corner of this cone, you got two walls in front of you. You're going to want to aim the rocket just a little bit below the corner where the two walls meet. Don't do it at the top, just a tad bit below so you give yourself a chance to fall through. And then boom, just like this, you want to shoot your rocket, and it allows you, since you're crouching, you just fall straight through into their box. Make sure you have your crosshair lined up where their head would be. This can be a really free kill if you get the setup of this right, so make sure you go into creative to mess around with this. This next technique is also another box fighting technique. This one though is about attacking someone's box from different angles in the same fight. Now this is something I first saw in a VOD review session from Bala TW, who was watching Sen Aspect in a solo cash cup from the start of the new chapter at the time. Aspect's ability to keep his enemy guessing in this fight and just generally just scrambling around is what allows him to dominate this fight so easy. So Aspect decides to start the fight on one wall that he decides to pickaxe all the way down to 75 HP. Now note this right here just because it does come back to play later in the fight. He knows this wall is going to be 75 HP, so keep that in mind. Then he proceeds to just keep jumping around the box, just kind of faking at other walls. He even goes up to the top of the box where he kind of replaces the cone with the ramp, just kind of to keep the opponent off guard and really just to throw him off. So what Aspect does is he drops back down on the wall that he knew was 75 HP. He flips that ramp around to catch him off guard. Then he hits the wall once, 75 HP, so he easily rips this wall from the guy before he can even react. And boom, after that, it just comes down to an easy shotgun fight where he's got attack. He's going to win that shotgun fight every time since he's catching his opponent off guard. Aspect shows off why if an enemy is just staying in the same box the entire time, going from multiple angles and faking at different walls can make a fight much easier, and it makes a wall take much easier knowing you can leave one 75 HP and come back. And overall, he just kept his opponent on the defensive the entire time, making this a really easy fight for him. This next technique is all about box fighting and making sure that you build a full box around yourself before box fighting any enemy. At this point of Fortnite, you're going to see almost every single pro player do this when they're box fighting. They're just going to take the extra second to build a box around themselves to make sure they have all this piece control. I really like this clip of Benji and Mongrel box fighting this duo because Benji makes sure to box around his enemy almost instantly, even though it's just wood. The most important reason for doing this and making sure that you're fully boxed up is mainly just to stop third-party tags or snipes on the fight. There's nothing more frustrating than taking a box fight against somebody and then Jimmy and Timmy are 300 meters away on a hill trying to take snipes on you. It's also really good because it stops your opponent from making any kind of edits out on you or just taking any of your pieces that you need. Especially having that cone and floor piece above your head is going to be really crucial because if they do put you in a weird kind of sketchy spot, you can make sure you can edit out and start ramping over them. And now the last way this is really going to help you out is if you are fighting like a duo or a trio. If you do get one of the kills and make sure that you're fully boxed around them, this means that their duo is just going to be less likely to kind of psycho in and start spraying in on you. And also this leaves you all the piece control they need to go get that card. That way if it does come time they're trying to go get the reboot card, you can kind of just camp on it knowing you have all the edits. They're not going to run in there. So whenever you take a box fight in the future, try to think about it and make sure to start making it a habit to fully box around them just to have that extra protection in the fight. This next strategy we're going to be talking about is piece control. Now if you don't know what piece control is, the easiest way to explain it is just think of every single building piece in Fortnite. If you have an opponent in front of you, you want to own every single possible piece you can get, so including walls, floors, cones, or maybe even putting a ramp over them. It's basically just having more control of the box that your opponent is in than they do. Now this clip is a funny example of it because I do end up pickaxing this guy, but this clip is a cool example because I block him off and kind of force him to go to the left, try to go for a quick ramp and it fails, and then I end up putting a cone on him and make him get stuck in my box again and pickaxe him. It's a funny clip, but it is a good, decent clip of piece control because it shows how crucial that first wall was when I blocked him off and made him go a different way. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video today. As always, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and comment down below what your favorite strategy you learned today was. Personally, mine is that Colazo rocket to Harpoon combo endgame. He ended up getting like 6 kills endgame with it, so it really shows how good it is if you're in a stacked endgame. But as always, if you guys did enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.